Okay, today we are going to be working on 15-1, Chapter 15, which is a worksheet for merchandising in business. And we're going to start on 15-1, which is the beginning of a 8-column worksheet for a merchandising business. In front of you, you should have the problem worksheet. 15-1, 15-2, and 15-3 work together. Page 371 and 373 are the two papers you should have. This is for a Paradise Company with a title. The worksheet is the report name and the year ended December 31st of the current year. We have two new terms that you need to know for this chapter, and it's inventory, which is the amount of goods on hand, and merchandise inventory, which is the amount of goods on hand for sale to customers. We're going to be working with the merchandise inventory account, do an adjustment on that after we do the first step in our worksheet. The first thing we have to do with our worksheet is list all of our accounts that are in our general ledger, and they're all listed here on the paper as we go down, all the way down, even accounts that don't have balances on there. Okay, then what we do next is we go in and put in the balances for those accounts as they are right now. The big thing you need to remember is to make sure they are put in the appropriate debit or credit column as to how they relate in the general ledger. I'm going to pause this and put in the account information, and you can pause your video at the time if you need to and continue and do that also. Okay, now I put in the account information. Now what we have to do, according to our directions on page 371, we entered the trial balance for step 3. Step 4, we're going to total, prove, and rule the trial balance. So we have to add up all these numbers and make sure that we have the correct balances and that both sides equal. The balance for the first side, first we got to rule it, so we got an equal sign there. Then the balance for this one has been added up, and it's $565,560. Now, if you want to, you can write the number down below here if needed be, so you're not, if you're off for some reason, you don't have to erase it and then put it back up here. And then what we do is we add up this side, and we come up with make sure we come up with the same number. If we don't, we need to check to make sure all the numbers are in there correct according to the general ledger, and then make sure that we keyed them in correctly. And the number I got for this one was $565,560, and the balances are equal, so we do have we have proven it, and now we need to rule the trial balance column. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to look at our next part, part 5, the physical count of merchandise inventory. What businesses do is they count the merchandise that's for sale, and they value it at however they want to value it. We will come to that at the end of the school year and determine how to value your inventory, but one way or another they come up with a value, and we are given a value of $239,354. That is the value as of December 31st. So what we will do is put that amount over in this spot. So that is $239,354. Now that is the ending inventory as of December 31st. Okay, now what you want to do is get out your other sheet of paper, page 373, and we will analyze our adjustment for this. So what is the balance, current balance of merchandise inventory? It is $254,244. The new balance at the end of the year that was done was figured out to be $239,354. Okay, so the difference, we have to come up with a difference. So we take the 244 minus the 239,354, and we get a balance of $14,890 that we need to adjust our merchandise inventory by. Now, since this was the beginning of the period and this was the end of the period, we have to reduce our inventory. And since the normal balance of these are debit, we have to credit this amount by $14,890. Now, we have to have a debit and a credit for this adjustment. Okay. Now, we've already determined that we have to credit the merchandise inventory by $14,890. Okay, so now we got to figure out what the amount is for the debit. And if you look back, it says that when an account requires an adjusting that does not have a related expense account, the temporary account income summary is used. So since we don't have a merchandise inventory expense, we use income summary. And that is $14,890. Okay, so that's our analysis of this entry, of this adjustment. So now we go back to our worksheet, and we do our debit first, which we have income summary of $14,890, and then we do the resulting entry of A, $14,890, and that is our adjustment for merchandise inventory.